What's going on, everybody? In a rare moment of foresight, I thought we could stop at the Black Emporium and grab a Maker's Sigh for Bethany. We were about to head off on a DLC, which I've been kind of looking forward to. And, you know, I didn't do this at the beginning of the game because I knew I was going to lose Bethany. But thanks to Pedro, one of the viewers, for reminding me that you can take Bethany with you on this DLC, I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these so that I can get all of her points back and rebuild her the way I want her. All right, so go ahead and get one of these in my pocket. Glad I thought to do this because she's got a few skills or abilities which she had at the very beginning of the game. You know, things like Fireball and stuff like that that are of no use to me now. Although I am going to keep her unupgraded Winter's Grasp. It's kind of an extra spell. More of a tactical thing than a damage thing because it can slow enemies and possibly snap freeze them. Although the upgrade is far more effective as far as that goes. Of course, you can't use that because it's friendly fire, and it really does do some damage to friendlies. Namely me, being already kind of squishy as a rogue. Also, I want to grab a couple of these items. There is there's some jewelry that I think I'd like to get my hands on here. Go ahead and have. These are almost must-haves for my warrior party. I haven't really bothered much with them playing as a rogue, but you know, actually the whole +1 to all attributes, I think I'm going to go ahead and jump on that. As a warrior, you know, next time I play my warrior, I may just run through just for myself a warrior build real quick, and I'll do it, although these aren't the most popular videos ever based on the view count, right? But I'm having a lot of fun with them, so, you know, I guess that's something, right? Hopefully one day someone will come into my channel and go back and look at these videos and say, wow, this guy really loved this game. You know, I wonder if there's something to it, and discover the kind of love I have for Dragon Age 2, and maybe see what I see in it, and you know, give credit where it's due, so to speak. And you know, if I can do that just for, well, I say just for one person, I don't want to sound all melodramatic about it, but honestly, if just one person can be inspired to go back and jump on this game, based on something they see here and come to appreciate it the way I do, then that would be awesome. That really would be pretty cool. I remember one person actually did leave a comment in one of the earlier videos in this Let's Play. Along those lines, he was basically like, you know, I want to check this out because of this, and, you know, going to give it another shot. Don't know how that turned out, but, I mean, at least, you know, at least the desire, the effort there to go back and check out Dragon Age 2 and, you know, give it another chance type of thing. Well, that's kind of what it's about. Anyway, now, as far as I'm concerned, I love this game. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change out some of this stuff. I've been running around with some stuff that kind of needs to be changed out anyway. Switch some of the other stuff with other party members and so on and so forth. Pretty much my base party is set for the most part. I did rearrange Aveline's tactics just a bit too, and I think we'll find her to be much more effective. I'm also giving her some skills now that she should have had a long time ago. It was just an oversight of mine. The ability to set up the rest of the party for combos.
Didn't Fenris say all Tevinter wine is made from the blood and tears of slaves? I hope he was exaggerating. Sorry, I was expecting.
Sorry, I just have to do this. I love the little comments that are made here.
Love Isabella. Why do I let her drag me into these things?
All right, here we go. Let's head off on the Legacy. We'll save Mark of the Assassin for Act 3, as Pedro also recommended. But really got to thank him for reminding me that you can bring Bethany along in this one. It's awesome. Get to run around with my sister for a little bit. And, you know, screw Anders. I want the base crew. I don't want to screw up the dialogue and the experience having Anders along.
You might find interesting. It tells of a chasm in the Vimmark mountains, and a secret that was said to be buried within. Yet when the Chantry went to investigate, they were turned away by the Grey Wardens.
And why would I find that interesting?
because the champion was there. I can't help but notice you failed to mention this adventure.
Oh, that? I didn't think you'd be interested. Just some business with Hawk's family and a few Carter dwarves who went too far. You're not going to believe me.
I'll take my chances.
All right. Don't say I didn't warn you. There it is.
That's where these dwarves are?
These are Carter dwarves, so they're more criminals and smugglers than anything else. They're not usually stupid, though. I don't know why they'd attack you.
They snuck into the gallows. If there hadn't been Templars to stop them. Don't feel left out. They've been trying to kill me for several days now.
You have a plan, then? I found their hideout, but my sources couldn't tell me anything else. It's all very strange.
Why do you say that? It's just the Carter, isn't it?
As far as my contacts in the Carter know, they shouldn't be here. There shouldn't even be a here. This place is invisible. A big blind spot on the map. Bianca's never been this suspicious, and she's twitchy to start with.
Does it matter? We just need them to stop trying to kill us.
A fine point. So, what's the plan?
Oh, I'm sure this is all a misunderstanding. Later, we'll all have tea and we'll laugh.
Oh, your name is Hawk. I thought it was Locke.
I can't believe you two are joking about this.
Don't worry, Sunshine. The laughter just hides the pain.
Let's move before we're spotted.
At least the Circle let me come. I didn't want you to do this alone. Let's go.
It's just too badass. Love having Bethany along. Alright, so, yeah, you don't know us very well if you can't believe we're joking. That's all we ever do about anything is joke. Alright, anyway. Alright, so we got our Maker's Sigh. We'll break everything down to the basics now and see what Bethany's got to work with here. Okay, first we can give her some decent stuff. Actually, her amulet's not bad at all. Jeez. That's very cool, actually. I don't recall giving that to her. May have, but I don't remember that. Maybe it was a DLC item at the beginning, or it's something she gets just for coming along on this DLC. I think the staff she's using is a point in case where it's something she gets just for coming along from the Circle. Basically, the staff she gets to bring with her or whatever. Switch Varric's stuff out real quick. Seeing as I took off some of my stuff, maybe he can use it. Some of these are hard choices to make, but really I need to keep in mind what fits their particular build. Like, a little extra health sounds good, but, you know, when they're getting one or two shotted, you know, a little bit extra health regeneration isn't that big of a deal. But enough stamina to get off that last shot to where he can kill them before they kill him type thing, that is a big deal. So, got to keep that stuff in mind. Some of these things I'm just going to go ahead and have to accept that it's time to go. Hate to get rid of the early game equipment, but sometimes you just got to. Okay, all these other stats will be open to her. She essentially has no stats right now. Interesting, though, is even having stripped her of all of her stats, she can still use the DLC type stuff. It's interesting. Like, it has no minimum qualifications. She could essentially use that at level 1 type of thing. Of course, she wouldn't have had it at level 1, but still. Okay, so, surprisingly enough, I'm not going to just stack her with a whole bunch of Constitution and stuff. I could give her 15 points of Constitution, and if she starts taking hits, she's just going to be taking hits. She's going to die regardless. She's not heavily armored. She doesn't have a lot of defenses. So, I think she's better served just being able to hit really, really hard. and often. So we're going to go ahead and stack her with willpower. And, you know, I'll throw a few points of constitution in here and there, to where she might be able to take that one extra arrow type of thing. But for the most part, she's best served being stacked as if I were playing my character. You know, as if how I would build her if I had her same skill set. And I would dump everything into being able to blow stuff up effectively. Okay, it's going to take a little bit because I'm in here. This isn't exactly a blind Let's Play part here in this DLC, but pretty close. I don't really remember much about it. I remember some of the ambushes, you know. I do remember you can't hardly turn a corner without getting attacked. Of course, there's nothing really new about that in Dragon Age 2. Every corner in Dragon Age 2 you get attacked, so... other than that, though, I don't call a lot of the lore and a lot of the stuff you do here. I'll be grabbing a few achievements while I'm here, too, but I'm here for the lore. That's the most important part. And I assume getting all the legacy achievements means being pretty thorough down here, too, so that's a good thing. Okay, now Force Mage, problem here is I think it's possible the Pull of the Abyss, for you Solus fans, interesting to consider that Bethany is a Force Mage also, very cool. But I don't, or Rift Mage, whatever. She has something of a Rift type thing going on here. Pull of the Abyss and the Gravitic Ring working something together, but I'm not sure which is friendly fire. I think it's possible all of them are, but I think one of them doesn't really do damage. Probably better served as playing a warrior, or basically an all-ranged party, you know. Getting in there as a rogue and being squishy and being forced into a tight circle with 15 or 20 enemies, yeah, that doesn't sound like my thing. I think I'm going to pretty much leave this tree alone, and for those of you that say, no, that tree's awesome, well, not if it gets my party killed all the time. A lot of us are going to be in the midst of it, with the enemy swinging, and we don't need to be getting killed by our uber powerful Rift Mage over here doing her thing. I'm going to come back and invest some points there, but I want to make sure I've got anything else along these lines. Arcane Shield is cool. It's also an extra passive. I'm not sure how her mana is really going to act. Like I say, I haven't been playing with Bethany all this time, so I'm not sure what part of her mana pool I really want to set aside. Don't know how quick her mana regen is. Stuff like that. So that's fine. Like I say, Arcane Shield, unless I want to just drop all 3 points into that right now and give the party just a little bit of extra protection type thing. I think I'm going to pretty much gear her for offense and to throw a few heals our way every once in a while. So it looks like this can be her other specialty, basically. I think this is a good deal. I'm gonna kind of want all these upgraded. These all look pretty good. Maybe even sleep, but the misdirection hex, the horror, does damage as an upgrade. Now there is over here a passive also that I want. Really don't know what to do with these things though. I mean, I can't, you want to get into their specialist tree just because it's there. But I might have to go ahead and avoid the temptation. But I'm most likely going to get that passive. Maybe even throw in spirit bolts. I could have sat here and looked at all this and plotted it out first, and then come back and done this. Probably saved a little time, but I'm kind of running you guys through how I think as far as the mage goes. In other words, I pick a direction, pick a path. What do I want to do? And here it's pretty simple, offense or defense type thing. She's definitely going to buff, and she's the only mage in the party, so she's really going to have to do her share there. So, I've got her on heals, got her on throwing down, paralyzing runes and stuff like that. I don't know if this is friendly fire. I could give this a test run I go ahead and pick this to get the passive anyway and have it. And if it's not friendly fire, which it's not on Inquisition, so it's possible it's not friendly fire here, although that's not really a good rule of thumb because they changed those around a little bit based on the combat balancing in both games. So some things that are, aren't, and vice versa. Like most of the lightning spells are friendly fire on Inquisition now, whereas all the lightning spells are safe in Dragon Age 2. So, I mean, they had to give you something because if you're playing on Nightmare, where friendly fire is even more brutal than it was on Inquisition, then you had to have something for your mages to work with. So, of course, it sucks when you're up against enemies that are immune to lightning, like the freaking Canary. It's very interesting because your mages become basically just buffs. They can't really do a lot of damage unless you give them a decent staff type. They can give you elemental weapons, but once again, that's really just a buff. That's helping you do your thing. They can't really do a whole lot on their own. They can heal, provide that for the party. They do have that. All right, so got that whole tree. I'll go back and set her tactics, but let me go ahead and level Vimmark up real quick. I think the tactics are more key necessarily than the skills that we picked. You might want to lean more towards one thing than another, but we're high enough level now to where most of her skills were available. Considering the level cap is a soft somewhere between 24 and 26-ish. With the DLCs, you might be able to hit 27. I guess it's possible. Seems pretty far off. I don't know. I'm not even at 20 yet, but and we're almost at the end of Act 2. We do have a little ways to go. We might level up one more time there. But I look at not leaving Act 2 at any higher than 21. Maybe 22. Maybe. And though I haven't completely min-maxed the XP, we've been getting most of it. We've been disarming just about every trap, going on every little side quest we can find and stuff like that. And so in Act 3, the levels start to become so far apart, as far as the amount of XP you need, that if you don't, aside from doing like some really major main story quests and killing some really healthy mobs while you're doing it, leveling up is almost impossible, basically. So anyway, she wouldn't have more than, 5, 6 more points after this anyway. Not sure where I'd spend them. So didn't really have much else open. And her specialty tree, we're getting a taste of a specialty tree where you can't use a lot of it. I don't think friendly fire is fair when it comes to a follower's specialization. I think they should leave friendly fire spells out of it, personally. My personal opinion. Because what makes that follower unique, you take that out of their game, and that is the case with Solus, for example, in Inquisition. His specialist tree, he has all that, Pull of the Abyss or Pull of the Rift or whatever the hell it's called, and all that stuff in his Firestorm. Those are friendly fire, and I don't think that's right. Is you've got a focus ability that you can only use every so often anyway, and then you don't let him use it at all, or else he kills the party. That's kind of ridiculous. Alright, so it's safe to throw her on the old Lyrium potion loop. If she gets down to no mana, she needs to suck those down as quick as she can. And she's the only one that's going to need them, so they're all for her. Alright, so, basically, under all conditions, she needs to go ahead and buff us with elemental weapons and heroic aura. That's at all times. And that's just a constant buff. That as long as she's on her feet, we should have that. And then, under just about any circumstance, she needs to cast haste. As long as there's at least one enemy alive, cast haste. Alright, and then, I want her to, freeze, or disable, or distract, or whatever, any rogue at any time. If she can find them, I don't know that she can necessarily pull them out of stealth with a one-shot move like that, but she can get them immobile for a minute, just long enough to get over there and give them a taste of what a one-shot backstab is all about. I'm all for that. I do not mind saving Assassinate for a rogue on the field, because they will go around and take out your party one person at a time, just like a friggin' ninja. Right, and I pretty much set that aside for a rogue and then any other elite enemy. Now, what's cool here is that her basic staff attacks and so on and so forth can pretty much deal with mobs. Okay, so I don't have her waste her strongest stuff on low-level enemies. Anyone that's normal or lower, I could rely on basic attacks pretty much to take them out almost instantly. All right, but elite and higher, you save the big stuff for them because spells have sometimes a pretty long cooldown on them. Okay, you may have to wait 20-30 seconds in between, or maybe even longer. All right, and so don't waste them on these petty mobs. Okay, save that spell for an elite enemy, and save that spell for when I'm targeting them, so we can hopefully get some combos off. So if everybody's targeting who I'm aiming at, you'll notice a lot of times I'll put like, if enemy is target of Hawk, then just simply attack, right? And that attack is going to include anything you do, not just basic attacks, but spells also. Okay, and so whoever I'm aiming at, shoot at those people. Let's take these guys out one at a time type of deal. Because with friendly fire active, a lot of the AoE stuff, like firestorms, with the exception of Tempest, which is lightning storm, with the exception of that, there really isn't much AoE stuff we're doing. Chain lightning is also good, but I notice Bethany doesn't have that particular tree, the primal tree. She doesn't have that at her disposal. So that's kind of out of it too. So we don't really have any AoE stuff at all with her in the group. Hopefully someday we can have a party with Bethany and Meryl together. That would be pretty cool. They actually seem to kind of like each other too, so. Of course, Bethany would get along with anybody as long as they're not being an asshole. She's just an absolute champ. Alright, so basic tactics, we'll adjust some stuff in a little bit. I kind of want to test this whole...
That's really strange.
The whole sky fisting thing. Fist of the Maker. Yeah, we won't get up into the whole fisting thing. I'll tell you what, this right here had kind of an Origins feel to me. For some reason, when I first got here, maybe it was the opening music when we got here or something, but it had a definite Origins flair. Thought that was cool. So I just like this right off the top. This DLC was worth it just right there to bring back the old Origin feels. So anyway, we'll see if that whole
Do you hear that?
Veil Strike Fist of the Maker thing works. If it doesn't have friendly fire on it, then that is kind of an AoE type.
They know we're here.
Of course they know we're here, Varric. That's your grasp of the obvious never ceases to amaze. But yeah, if it's not friendly fire, then, well, then we got one more skill at her disposal, and her tree isn't a complete waste down there, but I have a feeling it will be. Hopefully we don't all have to die to find this out, but I don't know, we'll see. Well, let's go and loot their graveyard. It looks like a lot of people don't make it past this point right here. And this place is apparently set up as something of a prison and a fortress of sorts. We're going to start getting ambushed here. But I can't wait to start finding some codex, and we'll start seeing what can be revealed here. Well, this guy's not attacking right off the top. Maybe he wants to talk to us.
You, both sisters, you're here together. You've come.
Is he referring to you and me?
Everyone, it's the children of Malcolm Hawk. They've come to us.
What does my father have to do with this?
It began with him and ends with you. Blood for blood, that's what we were told.
Did father do something to the Carter?
You've come to us now, and that's the only thing that matters.
You tell me. How could I refuse such a delightfully worded invitation?
We must have the blood. You don't understand.
Oh, blood. Why didn't you just ask?
We will take it. Corypheus will walk in the sun once more.
Okay, just a little note. Corypheus will walk in the sun. The light Corypheus is looking to walk in isn't the light of day that we have. It's the light of the Golden City, which he's, well, you know, we'll get off into that a whole bunch more, of course, later on. Take that. Okay, we're going to be dealing with archers. Yeah, archers going to be a problem throughout probably this entire thing. And that doesn't make for fun. That's not fun at all. Of course, it's not too bad when you can one-shot them. That's pretty cool. Putting up some decent numbers here. Trying to go down and save Bethany. Keeping an eye on her is going to be a major part of this too. Oh yeah, that's friendly fire, alright. That was the fist maker right there. And I just got fisted. Oh, look at Dog over here keeping him busy. What a champ. What a badass. Give it up for Dog. See ya, Bob Snarly. Do your damn thing. Yeah, we're going to have to totally deactivate that. That is not acceptable. I don't think these fanatical dwarves need any help kicking our ass. Not if they're going to have a million archers around. But I'm going to be careful to try to look in every corner. Okay, so if it seems like a backtrack a little bit and double check and stuff, if I have any doubt in my mind that I might have missed a corner, not that I'm not going to miss one, but it won't be for lack of trying to cover every single corner and every nook and cranny and find everything. Alright, so we need to get in here and do something about that. That's not acceptable. Actually, I was thinking maybe we could set it for just long range, but you know what? I could be in there in that long range at some point, and why do I have that twice? Don't ask me. No idea. With the basic setup, she's going to be a very basic mage. She's going to do her thing, but not going to have much need for all the extra tactics like we do with needy ass Anders and Meryl with her complicated ass system, especially with her whole blood of the first thing. I don't know. Still haven't fully figured out how we're going to do that. So I think I may have finally found something that works. Maybe. Honestly, if it doesn't, then I'm at a complete loss. Oh wow, okay. Archers, more archers. Sissy ass snipers up here. Got something for you, punk ass. And Bethany's getting raped again. God. Well, yeah, she's down. I'm not going to be able to get to her. Okay, that's on me. One thing she doesn't have is the kind of AoE aura heal. Okay, looks like I'm gonna be doing this on my own up here. Alright, well, that's one down. See if I can get Twin Fangs working too. There we go. Well, when it comes to melee and stuff, though, Aveline can take it. She can handle it like a champ over there. Alright, so, you know, and don't blame Bethany not having Constitution, because,
For our blood. But why? Crazy people like blood.
with her armor rating, she's getting 2 and 3 hit, so the difference between an extra 10 points of Constitution would be her getting 4 hit. Not a big difference. Still not enough time for me to get over there and save her.
With a name like that, he's bound to go "Mwahaha" at some point. I just know it. And really? More blood? Why can't it ever be spit or a lock of hair?
You really want to encounter a spit mage?
For variety, sure.
I love how they make your character cool in this. They really give Hawk some personality. Very, very cool. You know, even with the decisions you get to make and stuff, you still have a few different layers. You know, you still have that cockiness, all that spunk and stuff. It's cool, man. Okay, each time we come to a roadblock, we're going to need to go find the key, which is cool, because that gives me an excuse to look around for stuff anyway. Go ahead and heal everybody up real quick. Alright, hopefully we won't have a whole lot of this down here. I have a feeling this won't be the last injury kit we're going to be using, though. I do recall this being semi-brutal. Alright, finally some codex here. The burden of living in exile beneath the sun. The sacrifice, the Amgaform? Huh, alright, so exile under the sun, so,
Why does that make me nervous?
that gives a little clue as to, why we have dwarven construction near the surface, and also much of the, construction we see, especially in Inquisition, especially in, like, the Hissing Wastes and stuff, which shows a lot of dwarven construction. Even dwarven monuments above ground, like Paragon monuments and stuff. And, if I remember right, the brothers, who built in the Hissing Wastes were, they were in self-exile with their father, who had left the deep roads to go to the surface. We call it Malvernus, the pestilent one. Pestilence up here, okay, and it's a noxious waste that even works into the stone. Okay, now this can be brushed off as dwarven superstition, unless you actually give credence to their beliefs. What the dwarves actually believe is that the stone is alive, and this would hint towards that, alright? Take all the rest of it out. I don't know what relevance this pestilence has, which seems to be the,
Maybe a beach.
The day you go to the beach would be the day an armada of angry demon pirates show up.
No doubt. Alright, we just want a vacation. Well, it's not going to happen. But, the primary subject would seem to be, the pestilence in that codex, but I think the real key point is that the stone is alive. Alright? And, this pestilence was actually able to infect it.
Watch your step.
We know demons can be bound in stone, just as a living person. We know lyrium is a form of stone, but actually even carries magic. And can actually even carry the blight, thus the red lyrium. And so, yeah, there you have it. And so we have some things that are pointing towards some truths, which are just hinted at in Inquisition. But if you go back and look here, which is what I was hoping to find here, some cool stuff to kind of validate or verify some lore. Some suspicions and theories that I've come up with having played through Inquisition and even gone back and looked as far back as Origins. I'm seeing them kind of rear their head now in Dragon Age 2, stuff that I wouldn't have noticed before, or at least not in context. Okay, these Brontos doing all the mule kicks, that's a little annoying. Charging Brontos. Okay, well that's half the damage dealers down. Right. One thing about Inquisition, though, that kind of stuff is avoidable. Origins of Dragon Age 2, there's not so much you can do as in terms of evade. Yeah, Bronto that. Bitch. And here come the reinforcements. Glad these guys didn't come out a minute ago. I'm gonna watch over my mage over here. Notice Varric over there. Got Bethany's back. Varric loves Bethany. Varric actually loves all of us, to tell you the truth. This is how they're supposed to be huddled, right there. We got a straggler or two over there bothering Bethany and whatever, but like I say, she may not have a whole lot of AoE abilities or whatever. She's kind of just doing her thing. Okay, this is a lot of dwarves. Like, you know, about 300 dwarfs ago, I would have said that was a lot of dwarves. 300 dwarfs later, that's just way too many damn dwarfs. I mean, we've killed off 2 or 3 family lines right here. Okay, anybody else? Like, any buddies, like, as in hundreds of peoples else want some of that? Yeah, okay. Alright. 65, 70 dozen more dwarfs come out. That'd just be wave 2 out of 15 waves. Wow, okay. Alright, so this isn't just a cakewalk. You don't come into this DLC just to get, you know, just to run it over with no problem for free weapons. It's actually going to make you earn it, which is cool. Very cool, we can do this. And I guess that's our end goal all the way across over there, that big glowing tower with the wispy smokes and stuff going through it. This is a lot of traps, like, everywhere. I wonder what this one does. Well, that might come in handy later. Glad they didn't use it on us. This is quite a bit of money to be had here. Go ahead and level myself up. If we can level up one more time while we're here, we'll have done something. Trying to get my attack up a little bit. My dexterity is eventually going to need to get into around the 40 range. I think it needs to be 42. Maybe even higher, but I think it needs to be 42 to wear the champion armor in Act 3. So I'll need to sink a point into it here and there. I can always get a Maker's Sigh at some point and respec my entire character. This is kind of what I'm leaning at. These passives over here. The passives in the Shadows tree are what I'm really after. They kind of really sew everything together. They essentially buff your basic attacks to where you want to get to the point where almost everything you do is a critical. All right. And not only do I have a really high critical chance, you know, base critical chance anyway, when I'm not obscured or in stealth or flanking an opponent or whatever. You know, so if I have to just face someone toe-to-toe, I want to be able to tear them down quicker. That's great. But all the rest of the criticals should pretty much be guaranteed. That's what I'm really going for. But you'll notice I sink more into cunning than I do dexterity, simply to take advantage of the extra critical damage. Yeah, my dexterity needs to be at a certain point anyway. Champion armor isn't just a defensive thing either. It's for offense also because it has a lot of rune slots, right? And there'll be things like, I think there's some runes we can make that give you basically like +1 to all your attributes and stuff. And rather than do an exploit where I can, basically equip a bunch of stuff so I can put the equipment on and then take that stuff off and replace it with other stuff and this and that and blah, 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 and doing some kind of equipment exploit. A few points of dexterity one way or another aren't that big of a deal. I wouldn't mind having every point available going into cunning, but if I have my dexterity up there, it's not a bad thing. For nothing else, your attack. And your attack in this isn't so much your chance to hit, it's your chance to hit a full hit rather than a glancing blow, which I think is a really cool system, actually. Once again, I can't praise the combat system and the mechanics enough in this game. How well thought out it is. I mean, they really came into their own with tactics, with the skill trees, with the balancing and everything. I think it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Can't say enough about it. I wish they had not cut 80% of this out for Inquisition. I really wish they hadn't. It's such a shame because with Inquisition you get the visceral combat where you can roll and you can move and you can dodge and you can do all this stuff, but they cut out all the tactics and a lot of the skill trees are still alright. You can still go in there and find some builds and stuff, but the need to create a perfect build to play with isn't so necessary in Inquisition as it is in Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age 2, there's some things with 1 or 2 tactics out of place and your party can get destroyed. You could see that here. I mean, there's evidence of that. If I say, oh man, my tactics are messed up here, you're like, well, you just beat that area. Why'd you say that? Well, because the party wasn't acting right. There's something off, and I know it's on me. It's not on the game. It's on me. I may cuss at the game and blame it for all my shortcomings, but the bottom line is just one tactic out of place, one thing that's off, and a character isn't quite doing what it's supposed to be doing, and costs the whole party because everyone has to play their role. You break one of the legs and the body falls over. It's really just like that. Break one of the arms and it makes it a lot harder to fight, type of thing. So, anyway, when you hear me say that, that's why. And in Inquisition, not so much. Inquisition, well, go in and bang your head up against the wall hard enough and you'll eventually break through. If you struggle with something, you don't have to go adjust your tactics. Just keep swinging, you'll eventually get lucky and kill it. I don't know. Anyway. Wow, that really does come in handy, doesn't it? Here, let me hit that again. You want some more of that? How does that taste? Well, I'm glad that trap... Oh, I see why that trap... It almost had to be there. Look at how many archers we would have had to screw with. And some assassins running around, too. Yeah, these guys need to go. Look at those tasty criticals. See how their bar is flashing white just about every hit? That's what you want. That's what you want right there. And then you want each one of those criticals to count as much as possible. And we get to level up Vimmark. And all these guys are dropping stuff. We're getting 20, 30, 40 silver from Vimmark. Now, I'm sure if we were coming through here at a much lower level, this wouldn't be the case. I'm seriously considering, on my warrior, running through this right here, in Act 1. Seriously considering that. To level up for the deep roads. That's just in terms of making it easier. Although this probably could be a lot harder coming through at a much lower level. I don't know, maybe that's not such a wise idea. There's some enemies here that are just nasty.
Okay, I'll say that. How much does someone want me dead to attack me in the gallows?
Alright, yeah, that's our final destination right there. Ominous. No words even need to be said. Just ominous. Alright, doing pretty good by us with the health potions and stuff like that too. That's very cool. Now notice Varric, the way he's leveled, his attack, see it's at 100% with a lower dexterity. In fact, it's been at 100% for some time, which allows you to sink more points into cunning with him. And if you're playing a warrior and you need him along as your rogue, he's going to need a lot of cunning to open locks and floor traps. And I like how they built that in. It seems like no matter where you look, they thought of everything. So I mean, this is a well thought out combat system. It really, really is. Like even factoring in the need based on what your party makeup is, you know, what each of your party members is going to be required to do. And you've got sacrifice. If you want one thing, sometimes you have to sacrifice something else, true enough. But you don't have to sacrifice gameplay just to build your character to where they could be still effective and stuff. You can afford to put more cunning into into Varric if you want to bring him along in a warrior or mage main character group. You know, I think that's cool. Just pointing that out because they thought of it, you know. Give them credit for that. At some point, I've just got to depart from these DLC axes. I can go ahead and give this to Aveline, though. I don't think fire resistance is going to be that much of an issue, at least anytime soon. I mean, we can drop one of those runes into her shield. We'll be putting electric resistance stuff into our gear later anyway. With all the money we're making here, we can afford a bunch of extra runes now. At the end of this act, we don't have much more need of money until we get to Act 3 anyway. And it looks like I'm going to have quite a bit when we get there. I'm already back up to almost 50. We're at 100 something, right? And then I bought out some stuff from the Black Emporium. Stuff that looked like it'd come in handy. Things that I don't have to worry about now. Taken care of. You know, I might find a different amulet or belt or something later, but nothing much better than what I've got. Anything that can raise all your attributes by 1, that does throw an extra point into Constitution and magic and stuff. And, you know, it's maybe only 1% magic resistance here and 5 health hit points there and that type of thing, but better than nothing. Main thing is I'm buffing my dexterity and my cunning as I go. And raising my ability to equip certain gear. Right? And once I get all of my attribute points, all the gear that can raise my attributes, then I'll know what I still need to sink into certain things. Like if I have minimum requirements for something, that's a couple points less I have to put into that, and then I can afford to throw into cunning. So it's definitely all working out. All right, let's see what other ambushes are in store for us. Sure, there's going to be plenty. Freaking archers, man! Oh my God. Okay, well, this is looking forward to Inquisition with all these stupid archers. Little did we know that this was a sign of things to come. Look at! Come on, man! Seriously? Okay, let's see if I can tear all these dudes down all by myself over here. Look at them! Oh man, I'm taking some punishment. Thank you, Bethany. Bethany gave me the heals when I needed them, and she's taking the heat for it too. Gotta remember, when she heals you, that's the same thing as an attack. All the enemies look at her, pissed off at her for healing me. Start shooting her instead, and then go back to shooting me once she's dead. Yeah, this is it's kind of how an aggro system is supposed to work. I may not like it, but the harder you hit, the more you piss the enemy off. You know. I've got Aveline radiating the kind of threat she's supposed to have been radiating all along. Definitely be building her different next time. There we go. Oh, master sniper, huh? Well, regular snipers are bad enough. Oh, don't Varric. God! Well, that's probably only 25 or 50 XP, but still, it's mine. No, it's not mine now, is it? Man, having Varric around is so badass. He throws his own little version of a mark. It's not exactly a mark of death, but similar. Okay, let me go back here and double check, see if I missed any doors or any of that stuff. I think we'll be moving on to the next area here in a second. I think we're pretty much done with this. Yep, there it is. Alright, one more trap. Hopefully Varric won't jump ahead of me for no reason. Go trigger that too. Yeah, it was 50 XP. Well, I guess I'm going to have to live with that, because I think I'd call that a success run. We're all still standing. Sounds good to me. Alright, next I guess comes the Carta hideout. Alright. Got a little bit of lore there. Got introduced to the Vimmark Mountains, and we are headed on our way. Alright, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top. And if you want to catch the rest of this Let's Play up to this point, click that image there in the middle. Until later, I will catch you guys later. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.